Welcome back to the Chicago Tomahawk. I'm Mike, and I got my line mate Matt with me. Today, we're going to go over the Blackhawks' last few games. A couple changes with the lineup and who's playing who and what positions, and we've got some interesting NHL news today. So, the Blackhawks are on a 3-game skid. Matt, did they fall to the Canucks tonight?
Yeah, they fell. They had a little late rally coming back. They pulled Mrazek, and Reichel scored the second goal, and then about 30 seconds later, open netter. So final score was 4-2, I believe they fell. So they're on a 3-game skid.
Okay, 3-game skid. Reichel has been playing well. I think he's on maybe a 4-game scoring streak, isn't he?
Yeah, he's getting lucky. He's getting some lucky bounces, and
he's had a couple good shots too.
Yeah, the last 2 goals, I think, he had like a nice rush entering the zone, and he fired one. I think it was the game before tonight, but the goal he had tonight was kind of just being in the right spot at the right time. Hit the stick and found a way past our old buddy Colin Delia.
Too bad they couldn't light him up for 5 like he would let there for us. But considering we're trying to tank for Bedard, I'm kind of glad that he showed up and showed out today. So, Matt, have you noticed that, Reichel seems to be I think that it's clear that his development is done in Rockford, and there's absolutely zero reason to send him down there now. As an NHL player, what do you want to see out of him, say, come next season?
I'd like to see him get a fair shot, number one, and paired up with guys that will help him succeed. Don't put him with guys like fourth line guys. This guy needs like some talent with him. So hopefully a young kid coming up that, can fit the way he plays. Like even Korchinski, I know he plays defense, but those guys had some chemistry together on the power play. They were making some good passes together and stuff like that. But I know, I think you mentioned before you like to see him with Anthony Ciu because of the speed game. I mean, speed fits with everything. If you could fit him with, Reichel, I think that'd be a good pairing. But I think it all depends on this draft. If we get Bedard, I'd love to see Bedard play with Reichel. I think they'd complement each other very well because Bedard's just the type of guy who fit in with anybody. And these two will light it up together. I think it would be great, but it all depends, obviously. Even Fantelli, he scored his 29th goal of the season tonight in the NCAA. That's unheard of in college. You don't really see that much goal totals. And even a guy like that, he's a sniper, he's a shooter. Reichel's kind of the playmaker type of guy. He has been scoring, but I still think he's going to be a pass-first guy. That's another thing I'd like to see. So it all depends on this draft.
With this draft, Fantelli, he is, I think, a guy, I mentioned to you before, his comments in the, when they were playing in the World Juniors, where he decided that, that he would do what's best for the team, check his ego, because he wasn't playing, top line minutes, which is what he's used to doing, and, played some bottom line minutes and really contributed. I think that might have been a growing opportunity for him coming back to Michigan, man. He's been tearing it up. And I think that he's like, hey, look, these are the best in the world. Apparently, I'm not one of these guys that's going to be put in a position to be scoring, lots of goals. I want to get my game up there, and I think that he might have taken the message and ran away with it. This for the rest of the year in Michigan.
Yeah, man, he's been shooting, and I've been seeing a lot of highlights with even Nazar. He's up there too. I mean, that's another Hawks prospect. Like, we'll see if I don't. They're probably going to be patient with him like they were with Reichel. I mean, they might be like that. If, say, we get Fantelli, they're probably going to be patient with him too. They're not. Yeah. I don't think he could play college again, so he's got to be in the AHL. He's not a junior player where you could send him back, but definitely, I think Fantelli. I think he did fit with those guys. It's just Connor Bedard's a freak, so he's kind of setting the bar real high, and he's going to be the second-round pick, Adam Fantelli. There's no doubt about it. So,
you mean number 2?
Yeah, he'll be the number 2 overall, guaranteed. Whether it's with us, the Ducks, blah, blah, whatever, we don't know yet. But he definitely is. He's going to be a solid player. I think it depends on the situation of what team. If some teams might take a chance on him and give him that, I think it's like a 10-game, like kind of like a tryout thing, like where we want to see what you got. in the NHL, and if you're not good enough, we're going to send you back or send you here or whatever. So he might even get that too.
I think that, if we get Bedard, obviously that's what we want. Fantilli might be a good consolation prize if we end up getting that number 2 lottery pick.
Yeah, at first I was like, man, it's tough to swallow. Like, we just lost out on this generational type player, like another McDavid. But it's the drop off. I thought it was so like huge. Like, this guy's probably going to be in the minors for a while, but man, he's looking good. And it's when you got no one in the pipeline, sometimes it's nice to kind of just throw him in there and just, hey, there's no pressure here. We don't have any expectations. Let's see what you and Lukas Reichel got together, and maybe even Korchinski. Because at some point you have to do it. Like, I remember Duncan Keith, Siebes kind of came up together. It was a long season in 06. They were pretty much paired together the whole season. The team was terrible, but they earned a lot of experience. They learned a lot. And look what happened. Couple seasons later, they're making the Western Finals, and then they're winning 3 cups after that, and probably gonna have their numbers retired one day with the Blackhawks. So you got to at some point you got to cut them loose and see what you got.
Anthony Sia was moved to center. Apparently, I think he's a natural center, but he's been playing a lot of wing. I think that's a good idea to move him around to center. Coach Luke Richardson was pretty much saying that he liked him at center, said he played well defensively as well at the position, and they liked the speed there. He's centering that line with, believe it or not, Entwistle on right wing and Lukas Reichel at left wing. What do you think of that?
A little interesting. You kind of feel bad for Reichel because Entwistle's not that, nothing against him. He's just not as skilled. I'd honestly like to see like a Tyler Johnson play with Lukas Reichel. He's creative, kind of playmaker type of guy. And like I said, Anthony Ciu, he's a speedster. He can fit in with any line. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I think they're just kind of throwing something out there until it works with Reichel.
What do you think about, Ian Mitchell at this point? Because, like, what did the Hawks do? He clearly needs time to develop at the NHL level, but they're just not giving him that everyday time, to do it.
Yeah, it's tough.
I think he's good offensively, but he needs work on the defensive side of the puck. And obviously Luke Richardson should be able to give him that mentorship. But he's also said that a lot of mistakes that he's made, they're not really, how did he put it? He understands that he's developing and that he's, new, and that there's things that he needs to learn, which is the opposite of what Q, used to be.
Oh God, Q would have traded him to the Islanders. By now.
He'd be gone by now.
Nick Leddy. Yeah.
So he's a restricted free agent at the end of the season and has arbitration rights. What do you think happens with Mitchell? Do you think that they're going to say, "Hey, man, we want to bring you back"? There's going to be a lot of competition here for a spot.
Yeah.
But what do you think is going to be going on with this kid? I'd like to see more of him, but I just don't think that he's had the fair shake to say, hey, we're going to give you a season to show what you got.
Yeah, I mean he got hurt at the beginning of the year. I think that really, really hurt his chances this year. I'd like to see him, like I just said, I'd like to see him get a full year without worrying about making mistakes. I mean, let's see what you got. And, I feel like the coaching staff and Davidson need to get together and really kind of cram into this one. Like, hey, this is a young kid. He's got something, we're waiting for him to break out. It's just not happening. What do? Are we going to let him go and he's going to go blossom somewhere else and kind of make us look like idiots? Or should we just try one more time? And I mean, at this point you should try, because what else? What are you going to keep Caleb Jones in there? I mean, you're going to have to pay him a little bit more. I mean, so why not just? I'd say can't you give him a qualifying offer, and he can accept it. Well, I think you could do something like that when they're an RFA. Give him a fair deal and let him accept it. If he doesn't accept it, say, okay, dude, we're just gonna let you go then.
Which is too bad, because I think that this would be a prime example of Hawks not giving this kid a chance. he's sour about it, goes somewhere else, and turns into an everyday first liner.
They should be doing the same thing with him and as they're doing with Reichel right now. Finish to the end, and if Rockford's going to be competing for a playoff spot, send them both down together and get him some more gameplay. It's just going to make them better.
Right. So, something that I wanted to talk to you about, but was Trevor Zegras' next contract. Now, I want to move on to some. Well, before we move on to some NHL news, I'm really excited to get into this. Toews is skating; he's getting close to returning, but more than likely, I think that this is the end for him. I think that he's skating so that he could do kind of like a farewell thing.
I hope so. I hope he gets that. I'd like to see him, play the last home game, do a couple laps, let the crowd go wild. I think that would be awesome. I think Kaner deserved that, but Kaner wanted something else. So, I mean, I'd like to see this for Toews, and I hope, I don't think he's going to come out and say, "Hey, I want to play again." Do you? I don't see it. So, just come back, wear the C, and just take your lap, take it in, and see you in the front office next year. Stay with the Hawks because you're. Or
who knows, man? Maybe he's like, what? I need to go and sit on a beach for a year. You know because
some guys need that. Yeah, maybe he was going to go to his lake house and just kind of enjoy the lake and just fishing or just. Yeah, I'm not sure if he has a girlfriend or a fiance or anything. He's kind of private, which is probably a good thing when you're famous. Good for him. But just kind of enjoy your life a little bit, get healthy, and then, you're probably going to get bored after a while, like most retired people. Yeah. And get a job in the front office and start learning, work your way up to the GM one day like Stevie Y.
Yeah, I could really see him doing that, man, just because, he says it's a stress from hockey. And, a lot of people don't understand that, it's like these guys, they don't exactly go and get on a workout every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday type of a thing. It's everyday nutrition, yoga, stretching, working out, conditioning, playing games in the afternoon, playing games at night. Are you sick playing games? And it's like
it's all sports. Yep,
it's constant.
That's what Dennis Rodman said, man. Dennis Rodman said it best. He goes, "I'd play basketball for free. I'm getting paid for all the bullshit around it." And that's it probably adding up on Toews, just beating him up, his own health, and just the grind every day. And don't forget the wars he was in, those playoff wars. I mean, I'm sure his body is, he's got to be 34 years old, right? 35?
Yeah, I think he's 35.
Yeah, so he's probably got a 50-year-old body right now,
Yeah.
So I hope, like you said, I hope he takes that last lap with his arms up, and the crowd goes wild for him, and next year they retire his number.
I'll be in fucking tears.
With a big C on that banner because he was one of the best captains in hockey history.
Do you know that somebody said that Jonathan Toews isn't a lock for the Hall of Fame?
Well, I don't know who said that, but I mean,
it was from an article that I wrote on the Blackhawk Up website. It's called "Who is the best Blackhawk of all time?" I said it was Jonathan Toews because he's only played for one team. He's been the captain for 15 years now.
Yeah.
Won 3 cups, a Conn Smythe, 2
Selkies,
two gold medals, a Selkie, and who else has done that in a Blackhawk uniform as a captain?
Yeah, he's a top 100 player of all time.
Stan Mikita's only won 1.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got more points, but he doesn't have more cups.
Yeah, it comes down to championships for me.
Championships, gold medals.
Absolutely, Hall
he was
of Famer.
He was known during his career, practically his entire career, as one of the best centers in the league.
Yep, two-way centers. Yep.
So
is Paul Carrillo a Hall of Famer?
I believe he is.
He is a Hall of Famer. So why wouldn't Jonathan Toews be one?
Yeah. Eric Lindros is a Hall of Famer. How can't Jonathan Toews be a Hall of Famer?
And he's Canadian. He's a shoo-in. He's absolutely, he'll be. If Paul Carrillo's in the Hall of Fame and Eric Lindros in the Hall of Fame, Jonathan Toews will be in the Hall of Fame. That's just book, take it to the bank. He's going to the Hall of Fame.
I want to make sure about Paul Kariya.
Yes, he is. I remember. He is.
Okay.
He had injury issues. Yes, he would have had more numbers. I know for a fact.
Right.
I was just doing a hypothetical with you, and you said, yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, if he's in the Hall of Fame, Toews is definitely in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And I like Paul Kariya. He was
I do too.
Very exciting player.
Fast.
I loved him. I loved his balls, man.
Yeah.
Getting killed at center ice by Scott Stevens or the blue line.
Man,
coming back and scoring a goal. Gary Thorne's call giving you the freaking chills, man. Oh, yeah. Paul Kariya was a beast. And I know he just had some concussion issues. Obviously, that hit probably had something to do with it.
Yeah.
And I think he's only had 400 goals. I think he's less than 1,000 points. Kind of close to about where Toews is at.
Yeah.
Toews had some concussion issues, too, so his numbers would have been better. Same with Lindros. Lindros would probably be a 500 goal scorer if he wasn't, hurt all the time.
Yeah.
And Peter Forsberg, Hall of Famer. He hurt. I don't think his numbers are as good as Toews. I think he's got 2 cups with the Avalanche.
He was great, man.
Yeah, I love Forsberg, but Toews has 3 cups.
Yeah.
Selke, gold medal.
Conn Smythe.
That's just unbelievable player. Absolutely Hall of Fame player.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it when I heard it, so I was like, I'm not even going to respond to this.
Okay, yeah.
So before we go any further into the NHL news, I want to know what everybody else thinks. Is this it for Toews? Is he looking? Do you think he's going to hang it up? Get us on Twitter or shoot us an email at shytomahawk1@gmail.com. But the action never ends at DraftKings Sportsbook, especially this summer with tons of ways to bet on all your favorite sports. You can feel your fandom and feel the heat of this season like never before. Plus, right now, DraftKings Sportsbook is giving new customers a risk-free bet up to $1,000. That's right. Make your first bet up to $1,000, and if it doesn't win, you'll get another shot to cash in. You can throw down on all major action from hockey, baseball, basketball, golf, MMA, and more. Best of all, DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. You can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. This week, the Blackhawks are going to be taking on Dallas on Tuesday night, it looks like. This is a squad that has made up major improvements over this year. Jason Robertson is a force to be reckoned with. And this team's looking to try and get some playoff success. So now down the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code THPN, make your first deposit, and get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. That's promo code THPN, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See the show notes for details. Now, Matt, Trevor Zegras is going to be due a contract. I don't even know where the bridge deal is anymore because some guys are getting it, other guys are not. Okay. Mm-hmm. This guy has scored, a couple of fancy goals. He's got some handles, but I mean, I don't see this guy as a superstar,
No.
Where do you see how about this? You tell me what's fair for Trevor Zegras for what he's done and tell me what you think he's going to get.
$6 million a year.
You think that's fair for him?
Yes.
Okay. What do you think that he's going to get?
Probably 8.
Wow.
He's going to use his buddy Jack Hughes as a reference. And in all fairness, his first 3 years were better than Jack Hughes' first 3 years.
They were, yeah.
He's a 20-goal guy. He'll get, I think his 61 points was his best year, which was last year.
Yeah.
He'll probably match it. He's got, about 10 games left, so he'll probably get over his career high at around, I'd say about 65 points, maybe 70 max. It's a good year. He's getting a lot of playing time, that's for sure, being on that crappy Ducks team. I think he'll get 8, probably 8 times 8, which that's if the Ducks think, that's their guy. Like the Devils thought with Hughes. I think we were wrong about Hughes. I'm the first one to admit it. This guy is obviously for real. 40 goals this year. He's making, he's making good money, $8 million. Probably if he waited a year, I think he probably could have got more because he hit that 40 goal.
Yeah.
The Devils,
12.
I think, are winning this deal. And if it's a competition between the Devils and a player, I think the Devils absolutely got him for a steal now. If he could keep that going. But Zegras, I don't. If I'm a smart GM and I'm building a team and, waiting for prospects to get better and loading up on some draft picks, I'd want to pay Zegras like maybe 6 years, $6 million a year. And let's see. Let's take a bet on yourself. Hopefully you outplay it, and we'll pay you more. But guys, now there's no bridge deals. I want as much as I can get for as long as I can get. They want the security, and
well, don't blame him.
I think I'm sure he's going to get it. I'm sure he'll get that $8 million, maybe 7.5. But if I'm looking at like a 60 goal guy or a 60 point guy, I'm kind of going back a little bit. Most of those 60 point guys were averaging like $6 million a year, back in the day. Well, not too far, not too long ago, but I mean, I feel like it's ridiculous. You go from 850,000 and you're jumping to 8 million already for what?
Yeah.
I mean, you haven't been in the playoffs yet. You're a minus player. No success as a team. Yeah, you're doing Michigan goals. That's cool, but
It doesn't impress me.
Yeah, I'm more impressed with this Jack Hughes contract now, because now they're in the playoffs. I mean, they built a solid team around him, and he scored 40 goals, and I didn't think of him as a goal scorer. I thought he was like going to be like a Kane guy, 60 assists.
Well, Kane scored 40, but he's got a ton of assists though.
Not that young though. Kane never scored 40. Not that young.
Which
not
is
as impressive for him. I give him props
not
for
as
that.
young as Hughes.
So I believe the GM is a former NHL legend with the Ducks. I forget his name though. He played for the Red Wings. Little guy. Shoot, I forget his name. It'll pop up. But if I'm him and I'm
Pat Verbeek.
Pat Verbeek, yeah. I think Dallas Stars too. He played for. I think he won the cup that year with them. But maybe the Devils. I think he played with the Devils too. But anyway, like if I'm thinking about the future and I'm got to build you got to build within the salary cap. If I'm paying Zegras $8-9 million, that's going to be my stud. I'm going to have a lot of trouble bringing in free agents to pay them if the rest of this team starts producing. So I'd played conservative and probably say, hey, I'll give you 6.5 max for 6 years. Prove to me you can be that elite guy that everyone's saying you are.
You might be better off just giving him the 8, man.
If you take a gamble on him,
and that extra 2 years, because let's take a look here. He's played 73 games so far this season, so there's 9 games left. If he scores 1 goal a game, he's hitting 30 goals. If he hits that 30 goal mark, he's going to get that $8 million. But he's also a minus 24 as of right now.
Yeah, I don't see him as
a
shooter.
He's got 70 penalty minutes too.
He's
that's a lot for a flashy guy.
If you touch Troy Terry, you're dead. I mean, he's a superstar. You don't want your superstar getting hit over there.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that if I were the GM and this guy is if he hits 30 goals, I think that I would give him the 8x8 just to lock him up. Just so that I have those extra 2 years in case they are competing at that time where they don't have to worry about a contract for him.
Well, I just don't see him as a shooter, but I will, in all fairness, I didn't see Jack Hughes as a shooter, and he's got 40 this year. So things could change. 20 goals for his first 2 years, 2 out of the 3 entry-level years. That's pretty impressive. And, Hughes didn't do that. Hughes was getting like 10, 17, and, 1 year he was I think the first year he was just brutal. He took the big jump. He ended up staying the whole year, which he shouldn't have. They rushed him. It's kind of like, the Kirby. It's just a weird draft year. Kirby Doc was involved, and the best player ended up being Bowen Byram and what's his name? Mo Sider. 2 defensemen. So,
well, he had 61 games his first year, minus 26. In 61 games, 7 goals, 14 assists. In his next season, this is for Jack Hughes. 2021, 56 games played, 11 goals, 20 assists. 21-22, which was last season, he played in 49 games, 26 goals, 30 assists, 56 points. Okay, so they're saying that he's got 56 points in 49 games. Okay, so and his production has gone up every year. What if he regressed this year and plays, 80 games and scores 11 goals and 20 assists.
And the Devils look really dumb.
Really dumb, yeah. I mean, they took a chance. He's got 40 goals, 46 assists. He's got 86 points on the season. But here we go. Penalty minutes. 4. Yeah. He's got 4 penalty minutes, which means he stays on the ice and where you need him. Whereas in Zegras, on the other hand, he sounds like he takes a lot of dumb penalties.
50 and 70. Yep, his last 2 years.
So he's in the box a lot. And that's a lot for a guy who's supposed to be scoring.
Yeah,
he's in the box a lot.
He runs his mouth a lot too. You could tell that when that big brawl happened, he was running his mouth, and the veterans from Phoenix did not like a minute of it. They went right after him, and they made him pay. And he didn't like it. He didn't like getting hit. But hey, I'm with the Phoenix Coyotes on this. Don't talk shit when you're running up the score on a team that is an AHL team, and they're just. They're in a shitty situation. You're just pissing them off more. And
these are still guys who have been playing in the league longer than he has.
Yeah. And they're they want a job next year. They're competing. As sometimes it just doesn't go right. So I think he had a problem this year with the guy. If I'm not mistaken, he was saying something about a guy's dad who recently just passed away, I think the year before.
Wow.
And it wasn't really reported, but there was a rumor that he said your dad wouldn't be proud of you or something with how the way he was cheap shotting guys. And that guy, oh man, he got set off. This is something I read. I don't know if there's any truth to it, but because we never know what's happening, what's said on the ice. But I just remember him being in a brawl, and he's very cocky. That's the word to describe him. He's cocky. Definitely got a lot of skills. He could do that Michigan that lacrosse goal like nothing. He's got a couple very creative goals, passes, and there's no doubt he's got skill, but he's got to put up better numbers too. I mean, 20 goals, for like a highly touted prospect, like who's going to be the next wave of superstars. Man, they do more than, 20 something goals, and usually they're getting close to 80, at least a point a game. He's not even close yet.
Right. So, Zegras is
he's our new punching bag, I think.
He is. Yeah, I don't like
Jack
him.
Hughes, you are out of the box.
You're out of the doghouse.
Yeah, you're out of the tomahawk box.
The Devils have clinched a playoff spot, a playoff berth. Have fun. Get in as much experience as you can from this, and come in next year. But another thing, Hughes, he's not going to play 82 games this season. He's never played 82 games because he gets injured. So, shoulder last year. I think it was a shoulder this year too.
Well, look, he was hurt last year. He put up some unbelievable numbers for being hurt, though.
Yeah,
that's pretty impressive.
Minus 16, but still.
But look at the Devils. They've built they turned it around, solid core around them. They signed some good free agents. I think Palat from Tampa, a 2-time Stanley Cup champ. That always helps. You're building good young guys around them, So I don't think the Devils are going to go far, but I think it's a big step to make the playoffs and say, hey, look, take us serious because we're in the right direction here.
So we have a potential 100-point scores for this season. It was released by the NHL Network. Okay, I'm going to read them off. You can look at it with me. Okay, and I'm going to bring something up to you. Okay, Connor McDavid, 138 points so far, done deal. Leon Draisaitl, 110, done deal. Nikita Kucherov, 102. Matthew Tkachuk, 97. David Pastrnak, 95. Mitch Marner, 92. Jason Robertson, 91. Elias Peterson, 90. Nathan McKinnon, 90. Nathan McKinnon, that is a very quiet 90.
Yeah, he's been hurt.
He has, but you haven't heard a lot about him, but he's on the verge of 100 points. Tage Thompson, 88. Nugent Hopkins, 88.
Wow.
Erik Karlsson, 88. Mikko Ratnin, 85. And Sidney Crosby, all hail. Sidney Crosby, 85.
Wow.
Yeah. So the first thing that stands out to me I want to bring up is Matthew Tkachuk, 97, Jonathan Huberdeau, nowhere to be found. As a matter of fact, the two guys that they sent over to Calgary for Tkachuk, both combined, don't have as many points as he does.
Yeah, it just shows you that Barkov was everything for Huberdeau.
Yeah.
He was everything. That's sad.
Incredible.
That's sad. At first, I was really surprised with that trade. And I thought, Calgary did the best they could. Like, hey, we're going to lose a stud. We got to try to get a stud back. And I thought it was a good trade for him. He brought in two good players, and it just hasn't worked out. And the problem, Calgary locked this guy up. They should have waited a year and see, like, hey, let's see how he looks in a change of scenery. But no, he's locked up for a while. So
misses the beach.
Yep.
But I'll tell you what, I was not expecting to see Matthew Tkachuk hit 100 points again.
Well, there's another guy that you were just saying. This guy spends a lot of time in the penalty box too. Can you imagine if he cut this shit out? And
he might be at 120 points.
It's almost like Stan Mikita back in the day. It took his daughter to say, "Hey, Dad, how come you're always sitting in the box by yourself?" Well, she said, "While Uncle Bobby's on the bench with with his friends," and he's like, "Wow, my daughter's right." He won the Lady Byng the next year as the most classy player, least penalty minutes, and look at he got all those points.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. I think Mikita went from like 120 penalty minutes to like 10.
Kids know what's right sometimes. It's crazy.
Hold on. I want to look this up really quick.
Yeah, that's
Stan Mikita. He had, let's see here, penalty minutes. Yeah. He went from 154 penalty minutes to 58 the season after that, and then he went down to 12.
Yeah. He probably got one fighting major and maybe a couple hooks here and there.
A couple slashes here and there. Okay. So Matthew Tkachuk out of the way. Mitch Marner, 92 points. Where's
Austin?
Yeah.
Nice.
He's not on there.
Yeah, he's not even at 30 goals yet.
No. I'll tell you what, for a guy asking for $15 million,
you better hope they sign him now.
Yeah.
Or they're going to start using their brain.
For that 12. He's got, let's see here, 65 games played, 75 points, 36 goals, 39 assists. Okay. But for this kid, they're expecting this kid to be hitting 50 a year.
At least 40. I mean, he's definitely the sniper. You got your playmaker in Mitch. And Mitch is quietly underrated, I think. I mean,
yeah.
You talk Toronto Maple Leafs, who do you talk about? Matthews.
Yeah.
Poor Mitch is in the shadow, and look at him. He's consistent. He's putting up good numbers every season.
Yeah. Yeah, so Matthews, honestly, man, he's for the money that he's looking for, he needs to hit at least 50 a season.
Yeah, I mean, this year, sure, it doesn't help. The year before, the 60 goals, absolutely. Yeah, you look good. If you did that on the last year contract, you're going to get it.
Oh.
You're definitely going to get it. But after this year, and it all depends on the playoffs for me, too. If you get bounced out in that first round, I'm going to be rethinking about paying you that much.
I say, hey, man, it's just not working out here. So we got Jason Robertson, who is the guy is just looking to make a name for himself by his sheer will. He was playing on a bad Dallas team. I think that he's making this Dallas team what it is today, and I think that he's going to be a force, coming as the years go on.
Yeah, like Dale Talon said in that game with Pat Foley against the Stars last year. Jason Robertson was a guy he really wanted to pick, and he missed out on him. And he goes, I knew this kid was going to be a 40-goal guy consistently, and Dale Talon knows hockey.
Yeah, he does.
Yep.
McKinnon, quiet 90. Tage Thompson, man, I'll tell you what, this guy the past 2 years has been looking to make a name for himself, and he was doing it on a bad Sabres team. Now, a much better Sabres team.
I'm happy.
88 points. He's got 88 points. What can they do to put some other guys around him to make it a better team?
Sign Patrick Kane next year.
Well, we talked about that on the last podcast, didn't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Bring the Buffalo boy home and have him make this kid a 50-goal scorer easy. I'm so happy that the St. Louis Blues traded him for Ryan O'Reilly. They got their Stanley Cup. Now they're pretty bad, kind of where we're at. They're a little bit better. But they sold their future for the cup, and that's got to sting a little bit. That's almost like
but they got it, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's like the Rangers when they traded Amani here, and they got those 3 core guys, that they needed, or the 3 role guys, Brian Noonan and some other
Stefan
guy,
Matteau.
Stefan Matteau and
Steve Larmer.
I think Larmer was traded before. I think Olczyk was too. But hey, man, still best trade in Hawks history. We got the best.
They
Hawk.
traded Amani.
I love Tony. I think that was one of the best returns of the Hawks have ever gotten.
Yeah. So yeah, Tage Thompson is. But what if you sell the future and you don't get it?
That hurts.
Look at Toronto.
Yeah, that hurts.
Now you got nothing.
Yep.
Now you got a bunch of guys that you're paying that want to leave.
You paid guys for winning 3 Stanley Cups, but they didn't win 3 Stanley Cups.
Right. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins at 88. I think this is a definitely the residuals of playing on a team with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl.
But he's not playing with him all the time.
No,
That's
he's
what's
not.
impressive.
That helps, though.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely. He's probably getting a lot of power play points, too.
Sidney Crosby, I'm really hoping this guy can get 15 more points and hit that 100 points again, because he's just lived up to the hype ever since the first day he got on the ice, and he's just been a force.
I think getting over 82 is huge for him at this age.
Yeah.
I think he's already won for me.
Oh, I'm just saying personally that I would like to see him.
Oh yeah, hit the triple digits. For sure. But I mean, for his age, I think he's 36 now. Probably around 36. For him to get over a point a game, it's unheard of. And he's still the man there. He's still the top line dude. Usually younger guys are kind of stepping up and kind of moving him back a little bit, but he's not even ready to move yet.
No, he's still playing first line minutes, putting up first line points, to be honest with you. He's got 1,181 games played, 548 goals. He could hit the 600 goal mark hopefully within like the next couple years.
He probably will.
I think he will.
Right to the Hall of Fame.
946 to see. Yeah, he's going straight to the Hall of Fame. He might as well just take off his skates and hand him to the.
He should just do it there. Retire when you play the Maple Leafs and just walk a couple blocks away and get your locker.
He's been a minus player twice in his career, in 2019-20 and 2005-2006, his first
year.
season.
Yeah, I remember that was a rough Penguins team. I remember watching his first game. They had big hype on him on the old OLN network. It was the Versus. Remember that's what it was before. And
the Versus,
he
right?
Was so good.
What is it now? What is Versus now?
I think Versus went to NBC. NBC ended up buying them, and then now it's nothing.
Right.
Now ESPN has the rights, and oh my god, it's brutal broadcasts.
Do you think that the ESPN holding the rights is hurting the NHL?
No, I think they're getting more exposure, and that's what they need. They need Sports Center stuff, guys talking about it, so the casual sports fan occasionally sees hockey. Highlights.
Okay.
I'm sure it helps, but
sure.
It's just hockey's not for everyone. It's for a special breed of sports watchers. Not everybody understands it. People complain they can't see the puck. Don't watch it then. That's the thing. It's different. And I think I grew up watching it my whole life. I love it more than any other sport. I can't watch any other sport. It's just too damn slow.
Yeah. Especially when you compare it to playoff hockey.
Playoff hockey, there is nothing that gets close to it. Nothing.
The thing about playoff hockey is that, you're invested from the season and you're watching these guys take it to another level, which is incredible to see. Crosby had a really nice backhand goal the other day.
Oh, I saw that. Oh,
did you see that?
Geez, yeah, there's not too many guys who can pull that off. Not too many guys at all. I think
he's always had a great backhand.
That's it.
Yeah. He's, Kaner too. Kaner's got a really good backhand.
Yeah. I don't think so much anymore. I don't think he gets that skating. He can't really just kind of take off on a guy like he used to. But I think McDavid and Crosby are like the only two that could kind of skate with a guy one-on-one and just kind of book it the other direction and just beat him by a step and then just freeze up the goalie with a just unbelievable backhand.
That was against Colorado too, so it wasn't like a bad team.
Can you imagine if it was against Cale Makar? How wow, this guy is still he could still do it.
Right. So the Wild lead the Central.
Interesting.
The Central just doesn't seem as. It just seems to be like it just completely fallen off.
Well, you'd think the Avalanche, after winning the Cup, they would kind of own the top spot for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
And it's just, I guess they're blaming the injuries. I know their captain's been out all year. He was supposed to come back a couple months ago. They're still concerned with him, Landeskog.
Yeah.
But I bet you he'll be back for the playoffs. But he's going to be rusty. It's going to take a while to get back. I don't see the Avalanche doing much this year. I wouldn't be surprised if they got bounced in the first round, to be honest, dude.
Wow.
I'm not sold on the goaltending. I know Georgiev is a good goalie. He was behind Shesterkin for a long time with the Rangers, but he's never really had that experience. Darcy Kemper played great last season for them. And he's with Washington now, so it's going to be a little different, I think.
Was it Yevgeny Kuznetsov is asking for a trade out of the Capitals, probably because they don't really care about anything other than Ovi scoring goals. So he's like, can I go to a team that actually wants to play hockey?
That guy, I watched him a couple games this year. He has some fantastic moves, man. He can get around guys like nothing and then finish it. He can get around a goalie too. I think I heard this isn't the first time he said this. He wants a trade. Maybe let him blow off, let his anger get off a little bit, and let Ovi talk him into staying, because once Ovi's gone, they're going to be right where the Blackhawks are at right now. They're going to be retooling, and it's going to take a while.
They're going to need to pay him, though.
Yeah, maybe they'll trade him at the draft. Maybe they'll get a first-round pick for him. I don't know, but the guy could play. Kuznetsov, he's a good player.
Who do you think is the best player in the NHL that isn't named Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl?
So, this was tough for me, but you know what? I'm going to go with David Pastrnak. I think that I watched the game today. I know the stats aren't updated, but he's at 51 goals right now. He scored 2 tonight. He's at 95 points. He's a plus 31. And he's at 601 points in 583 games. And he just signed that long extension, which was very smart by the Bruins, because this kid is going to be your guy when Bergeron and the Marchands are starting to retire. You're in good hands, And I what's his name? Kurashev. He's up here. Kucherov, another good player. He's on a very good team, and he's on a he gets a lot of. He is a good player, but I just think right now, getting that 50 goal plateau, I think he's probably the best player in the world, not named Connor McDavid and Draisaitl.
Wait. So you're saying, is it Pasta or Cooch?
Pasta. I do give an honorable mention to Cooch. I like him. Obviously, he's won 2 Stanley Cups, but this year, I think David Pastrnak getting that over that 50 goal mark, dude, that's huge. And you look at his career numbers. 600 points in less than 600 games is impressive. He's young. He's only 26. He's going to be probably a Bruin for life. He might even be the next captain. So this year is going to be huge too. Obviously they're the favorite, right, to win the cup. Mm-hmm. They're just so stacked. If they can get that done, I think he is probably the top 3, number 3 guy in the league.
So since you named Kucherov, he was going to be my pick. Yeah, but
he's my honorable mention.
I'll go in another direction. I'm going to say, since you gave honorable mention, I'm going to go with Nathan MacKinnon because of his leadership. I think that he has, even though that he doesn't wear the C on his jersey, they wouldn't have won a cup without Nathan MacKinnon, because Landeskog couldn't get it done before Nathan MacKinnon, and they're still competitive. They're still winning without Landeskog, and MacKinnon still has 90 points on the year, or a little over 90 points on the year so far. Yeah. And I think injuries. That he's some injuries. I think that he's he's just an great all around player. He's good at the dot, scores, can set up guys, draws the defense to him because of his speed, and he can open up things with his speed too. So I'm going to give it to MacKinnon. And for an honorable mention, I'm going to give it to Victor Hedman because he is on the other side of the puck. I think that he is the anchor of this Tampa Bay team that has won, so many cups. He is a main driver behind that success. He scores and can put up points when his team needs it from the defensive side of the puck, and can shut down the team's best players on the same shift. So I'd have to give it to to Victor Hedman. As a matter of fact, man, I'm going to switch that up. I'm going to give it Victor Hedman and Nathan McKinnon as honorable mention.
Wow. Yeah. I like it.
If I were starting a team and I had an option to start teams, I think that there's a couple ways of looking at it. You can look at scoring and you can look at defense. And it really depends on who you want to grab. So say you grab Connor McDavid. It's like, okay, you're obviously going to need some defense because he's such an offensive oriented guy, but he needs somebody else to play with. So say you take Hedman. Obviously you're going with defense, so you need some offense. You're going to need to get some centers that can play good defense as well, but also help you control the puck. So I'm going to go with
That's
Hedman.
Why Tampa's so successful.
They are. Yeah, they are. And I'm going to go with Hedman. I really like him, man. Hedman.
You know what? Hedman really came alive in 2015 against the Hawks that year. He stole the show for me. This guy was just an absolute monster out there. And, the TV, whoever they were calling the game, they were like, wow, this kid is going to be a beast. He's controlling this game. He's the reason why they got the 2 wins. He just comes out ready to go. And obviously, he's been in the Stanley Cup final the last 3 years with 2 cups.
Let me see here.
A top line minute guy. So, I'm not sure he's lighting it up this year in points as a defenseman just because Carlson is kind of running away with the points race. But he's probably got to be a 50-point guy at least. And he plays defense. He plays the position the right way.
Let me hold on. Let me look him up, Hedman. His points so far. Victor Hedman. Gosh dang it, why does it always do this? All right. Victor Hedman, he's got, he's been in the league since 09-10.
Mm-hmm.
So he's at 12 years, 967 games played, 142 goals and 506 assists, 648 points, and he's a plus 158.
Yep. There you go.
So
the guy is on the ice and for production, and he prevents goals. That's the job of a defenseman.
Yeah, the kind of guy that you want. So
absolutely, I'll take a Victor Hedman over anybody all day.
I remember his scouting report. I was like, man, I wish the Hawks could get this guy.
First round pick, right? I think he went number 1 that year, and then Stamkos was the year before.
Yeah.
So those guys kind of came in together.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. Alex DeBrincat, rumor is he's going to get a 1-year deal from the Sens, estimated around $9 million. Might be like a make it or break it type of deal. Want to stick around? Can you still score type of a deal?
I think it's we're going to keep you whether you like it or not kind of deal.
Yeah.
And you can go. We can go at the deadline from us, or you could walk.
Sure.
I got into an argument with a guy on Twitter about it. A guy from Iowa. Yeah. I said your thoughts. I said, in my opinion, I think he's going to take the deal because he's got no choice because he's still an RFA.
Right.
And I think he's going to want to walk, or the Sens won't get a deal and they'll trade him. And he goes, well, he clearly stated he likes playing there. Okay.
Really?
He's not going to say he hates it. No one ever says that. Like, I hate it here. It's suicide,
Yeah.
And of course he's going to say it was fun. And he says he's excited for the ownership. Okay, I don't care if Deadpool is going to be the new owner, Ryan Reynolds. I don't. It's Ottawa. It's the worst place in Canada to play for. No offense, Ottawa Senators fans listening to this. I'm sorry, I take it back. Winnipeg is the worst, but Ottawa's second. If I'm playing in Canada, it's going to be for the Montreal Canadiens or Toronto. If I had the choice as a UFA, it is not going to be Ottawa. I'm sorry. It's just I don't want to play it for like an AHL type club. And that sounds disrespectful, but I'm sorry. I'd rather play for a freaking like mecca of hockey, Toronto, or Original Six. I'd be okay with playing for freaking Edmonton right now to play with Connor McDavid in the cold, crappy winters in Edmonton.
Oh, brutal.
But I wouldn't want to play in Ottawa, and I think it's not important for Jeremy Roenick said this. It's not important for American guys to play in Canada like it is Canadian kids wanting to play for a Canadian team. American kids just don't care about it. And I'm going to stand by this. I think Austin Matthews is going to end up leaving the Maple Leafs because it's not a big deal to him.
Right.
He's going to go where the money's going to be at, and that it's not going to matter. Look at Matthew Tkachuk. He left freaking diehard Calgary Flames fans for Florida fans. There's probably like 7 of them in the stands. He doesn't care. He's getting paid and he's playing in a freaking great state. He can go to the beach when he wants. It's awesome.
Less taxes?
Yeah. He's getting more for his money. So
it just
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for American kids. I can see DeBrincat signing with the Red Wings. Going back home to play with his buddy Dylan Larkin.
Yeah.
And that would suck, but I could
I'd
see
rather
it.
come to Chicago, but I get it. Yeah, I get it.
I don't know how I feel about him coming back. If it's going to be for $9.5 million,
Yeah.
And he doesn't have Kaner anymore. And
but we got Reichel.
Yeah, but Reichel's not Kaner yet, and he may never be Kaner. So
yeah, but he might have the ability to get the puck on his stick, which it seems like he has that ability.
Yeah, and he's kind of like a Cole Caulfield type of guy. Him and DeBrincat, they kind of like, even like Ovi, they like getting open on that power play and just firing that one timer. Kind of works for a lot of guys, and DeBrincat can hit it. He can shoot for a little guy. He's got a laser. But I don't know if it's going to be for $9.5 million or 10. Even if we got Bedard, you can't pay that guy because we're going to have to pay him.
I wouldn't want to pay him over 9.
I just don't see it happening, man. And someone will pay, and I can see Stevie Y kind of filling in that spot for Dylan Larkin because maybe Detroit will be close next year. They'll just be missing out that sniper, and maybe July 1st. He signs with his hometown team, Red Wings, and playing with his buddy Larkin, which would suck, but it would be a good thing for the Red Wings.
Mentioning Patrick Kane, he scored his 450th goal, which is good for him. Wish he would have done it in a Blackhawks sweater, but it is what it is.
I'd like to see him get 500 one day in a Blackhawks sweater. It would be awesome.
Yeah. So thanks everybody for listening. We really appreciate it. If you have anything you want to talk to us about, hit us up on Twitter at Shy Tomahawk, and we'll feature it on the show. Be sure to use our code Shy Tomahawk at Liquid IB for 15% off, and at THPN for DraftKings. See you on the next one. This is the Tomahawk, and we're out of here.